Not only does he have a son named Jackson Holliday, you may remember Jackson Holliday because we mentioned him because he got an $8.19 million bonus from the Orioles back in 2022. Remember him? Remember the guy who's playing for the Orioles, who we expect to be an MVP candidate year in and year out? Well, that's not all. There's another Holliday, and his name is Ethan. He's the bro. He was just drafted by the Rockies, and he looked at Jackson and said, I got you, buddy. We're not going to let Willits have the record for high school signing bonuses. That Samson said that Willits has the record at 8.2, purposefully beating you by $1. I'm not just going to beat Willits for you, Dad and bro. I'm going to crush him. Ethan Holliday went to the Rockies and said, listen, I know that I'm the 4 pick, and I know that my slot is only 8.7, but let me tell you, that is not nearly enough for me. I want $9 million. $9 million. No way. Well, guess what? The Colorado Rockies signed Ethan Holliday for $9 million yesterday. That's the most money ever for a high schooler. Poor Willits held the record as long as the White Sox did, the futility record. Although the Rockies are winning some games recently. I haven't checked. I haven't done the math to see where the Rockies are, but I assume they're still on track to be worse than the White Sox. Poor Willits held the record for like a hot second. Now it's Ethan Holliday. One thing that we didn't look at before the show, Coca, is that just the signing bonuses of his 2 sons, which add up to about $17.2 million. What were Matt Holliday's, and I can check it right now, but we're in the middle of a show and we're live on the Nothing Personal with David Samson YouTube channel. What do you think Matt Holliday career earnings were, if you had to guess? He did well. I mean, he was a great player. $157 plus million Matt Holliday made. Now you got Jackson and Ethan, who will be able to surpass that in a way. God, it's really, what a family of baseball players. But I wanted to talk about these bonuses. I hated them. We'd have our scouts come up to us and say, hey, we've got a good pick here. We're going to have to give this guy $1 million or $2 million or $3 million. I was thinking about my career when I watched Scott Boras go to Marlins Park, and the Marlins introduced their draft pick who had just gotten $7 million plus. And then I was just thinking to myself, is this the right way to allocate money? Do fans want to see $9 million going to Ethan Holliday? Would they prefer that $9 million goes to the payroll? Would they prefer it goes to a better starting pitching? Would they prefer that it goes to someone on the big league roster? Or do they have the ability to know that you spend money on draft picks because that is the best, most efficient way to acquire talent? That's what I was always told. That is what baseball people would always tell me. David, the cheapest, best way to acquire talent when we can't swim in the free agent market is through the draft. And I would say, I'm just curious. Why would we spend $9 million on one guy instead of $1 million on 9 guys? Because it's so hard to be a performing big leaguer. I would count it as a success when a player got 1 game in the big leagues. Like, that's it. You did it. We drafted a big leaguer. But I didn't really think that deep down. I wanted that player to be a performing major leaguer. I wanted that player to be an everyday player. If I'm going to spend money on a first-round pick in the top 10, top 20, I want that player in our lineup. The White Sox gave Andrew Vaughn $7.2 million. Did it work? Well, he's playing every day for the Brewers, so I guess you could say it worked. But is he worth Savali? Teams that are brilliant still make mistakes, even though everyone assumes they hit and bat 1,000 when it comes to the draft. Have you guys heard of Brendan McKay? Well, I haven't. He was drafted the year I left baseball in 2017. Done. He played 13 big league games. I guess that's a success for $7 million. I don't know. Do you say that? Do you think the Royals, a small revenue team, they dropped $7.5 million in 2011, which is unheard of. I was a part of that draft, and I remember the Royals giving 7.5 to Bubba Starling, thinking, wow, he's going to be good. He played 96 big league games. I guess that counts. Big leaguer. That's $7.5 million. Right down the crapper. But on the other hand, the Pirates gave Paul Skeens 9.2. He's an ace. That's got to work out. Are you telling me that the Paul Skeens $9 million has worked out? Tell me. Tell me, please. Tell me, because he's been unbelievable. The greatest. And statistically, he's been the greatest over his first, 40 starts? If 5 years from now, Skeens has 50 starts and that's it, and his career ended after this moment, he's Mark frickin' Fidrich. Maybe you could talk about the Rockies, who are just trying to pour money in. Remember last year, they gave Charlie Condon $9.2 million. They've got $18 million in 2 players. I was just never in that position, never wanted to be in that position. It just seems like it doesn't work. Go down the list. Diamondbacks just a few years ago gave $8 million to Drew Jones. He's in single A. That's Andrew Jones' son. You'd think the bloodline would be, hey, we got this taken care of. It's a crapshoot. I don't know how to say it any more clearly. There are no stats you can give me that will change my mind that the millions of dollars that we give the kids, it's great. It's great fun. You get a press conference. There's a draft that's watched by scores of people. It's way better than signing a free agent for $300 million when it works. But I have an answer. And my GMs never liked this answer, but I gave it, and I still give it to this day. The $9 million man or the 9 players at $1 million. Of course, I still take the 9 players at $1 million. Why? Because I'm paying you millions of dollars to run our baseball organization. There's tens of millions of dollars in people cost below you, scouts, development, tens of millions of dollars we're spending. Find me guys in the later rounds who are going to be the ones talked about. Wow, he got a signing bonus of $250,000 in the 4th round, and he's now productive everyday big leaguer, part of your team. Find me the free agents in the middle to bottom of the class, just like at a trade deadline. All the articles we're reading, Coco, every one of them. Oh, it's not a deep deadline. The Diamondbacks, could they buy? Could they sell? We're going to have Suarez. Is he on the market? Gallen, is he on the market? If you want a third baseman, it's going to be dicey. If you want anything starting pitching, it's going to be way more hairy than you'd like. This is when you have to be good.